I've had like a lot of experience making viral content, and it's kind of weird saying like
There's
uh,
no other way of wording it, but I get
there's
it's
no other
so
way of
weird, isn't
wording
it?
it.
Such a weird phrase. Hey guys, James Wilson Taylor here for Roxanne with our latest video calls. Now, Sueco has just announced his upcoming new album, and there's been some massive singles over the last year as well. I'm delighted to say he joins me via Zoom now. How are you, man?
Yo, yo, what's good, James? Just living the life. Honestly, I just woke up. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I literally just crawled out of bed to get on this
This
call,
is
so I'm
this
ready to
is
go.
I am used to this by now. This is the life we lead from the UK to the West Coast. It's always nice to see you out there at this time. I appreciate you living the rock star hours and still getting up for me. This is good.
Oh yeah, yeah. It wouldn't do anything else.
Nice.
Five
Rise
in the
and
morning
shining.
to 5 or 6 in the morning to 10 in the morning sleep schedule. That's great. I love it.
That's the way to
Oh
do
yeah,
it.
I was filming a TikTok last night. Another in the studio video.
Oh, nice. Okay, there you go then. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely come on to your TikTok stuff because I've been interested to see the way you've been working that, man. But I want to start, I guess, with I guess what kind of brought you to a lot of wider attention, which is the single "Paralyzed," because that's certainly, it seems to have opened up to a wider audience in a bigger way with that track, and it's a great song, which I really enjoyed. Tell me a little bit about where that one came from in particular, and I guess kind of the writing process around it as well.
Sonically, that song, and really, all the songs that are going to be on my album. So the album's called "It Was Fun While It Lasted." It drops March 4th. I'm not sure when this is going to air, but
This will
it
be
drops.
airing Monday, but don't you worry, we'll get that album plug-in in there straight away.
Okay, cool. Let's go. Um, so pretty much, yeah, the sonically the process of that song, Paralyzed, and every song on the album was really me wanting to kind of combine all the sounds and all the styles that I grew up listening to and that I am as an artist. So, there's the rap kind of influences in the verses and in the language. There's obviously it's an alternative track. It's kind of like, almost like Taking Back Sunday vibes. And so I just wanted to kind of, just combine everything. There's like crazy synths and like crazy cinematic moments. Um, and yeah, I just wanted to make this sound that was everything that I've been or everything that I liked and combine it into one and not have it be, oh, this is a rap song. Oh, this is a rock song. Oh, this is a synth hyperpop song. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then writing wise on Paralyzed specifically, I was in the middle of kind of the tail end of this really, really toxic relationship that I was in. And it was maybe a week or two before I had like decided to get sober. So I was still just in the middle of, you know, heavy drinking. I'll leave it at that, but just a lot. And there was kind of this disconnect in my brain that I knew everything that I was doing, was bad for me. Like logically, I knew everything I'm doing is fucking terrible for me. But in my emotions, I just keep wanting more and I keep going. And it kind of I was stuck in this place knowing that I was fucking up, but just doing it anyways. And that's why the song, You Got Me Paralyzed. I'm stuck. I mean, in
Damn.
a nutshell, it's more in the song, but like that's kind of in a nutshell what it's about.
It's good to see, man. I'm glad you touched on those influences because it is a really, really nice mix in there. I like that it's really, really well blended. You can totally tell that you're playing with lots of different styles, but it does fit really, really well to sing. It doesn't, nothing feels out of place there. Do you know what I mean? It's really nice how you've kind of put that together a bit. And I want to kind of we'll mention a fair few of your collaborators through here, but I do want to mention Feldie, who I know has been a big supporter of you because he's
Mm-hmm.
such a like what I always say whenever I speak to someone who's worked with him, what's always struck me about him is that it's more than just a collaboration. He really kind of likes to mentor new artists. He likes to set you on a right path. What's your kind of working experience been like with him?
Dude, Feldman's the man. He's like honestly, working with him, he's like a machine. Like in the best way, not in a bad way, in like the best way. Because you'll go in the studio with him, and I've heard so many people say this. It's the infamous Feldman routine. What he does, he'll go in the studio, and we'll be talking about life or whatever, and then he'll grab his guitar, and then he'll go, "All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back." And then he'll go to the bathroom. I don't know who the fuck knows where he actually goes, but 5 minutes later, he'll come back and he'll have like an entire song written just on his guitar based on what we were just talking about. uh, and in like 5 minutes, and he'll just do this like all the time. It just comes to him, and he just goes. It's crazy working with him how fast he can work. It's almost like how a lot of rappers are kind of just go on the mic and freestyle. Like he
Yeah.
almost does the same thing, but somehow with full songs, like with the structure and everything. And he actually did right at the beginning kind of put me on game with a lot of stuff, like because I was, he's been around for a while. He's done such big stuff. I would kind of just ask him questions about, how he saw different people work and, how to kind of navigate the industry and stuff. I mean, boring stuff to probably talk about on a podcast, nothing exciting, but kind of just, the everyday stuff in the industry, which is, it's good to have that voice that's been around for a while, kind of teaching you that kind of stuff, because you don't learn it unless you go through it or someone tells you.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that is what I'm saying, where it comes in with his kind of he is a bit of a guiding light for younger artists. He just really enjoys helping you make the most out of your career. That's the way I've always seen it anyway. Certainly from having spoken to him, that seems to be the way it comes across. And similarly with his main collaborator, I would say, and the hardest working man in music, Travis Barker, who just similarly seems to like really, really enjoy that idea of let's find the best work that we can do to bring out and make it your own kind of voice that way. Obviously, you collaborated on SOS a while back, and that was just, what a successful kind of moment that is for you. Again, I think just tell me a little bit about your experience working with Travis, because like I say, it seems like it's tailored to each of his collaborators in a really personal way.
Yeah, well, I mean, so like Travis, pretty much right around when Fast blew up, he followed me on Instagram, and I kind of like was like, oh shit, like, wow, this is great. Like, it was kind of a cool moment. And then we were kind of, just talking back and forth, and I had sent him SOS. The song was already done, and he like really fucked with it. And then we sent him like the stems, and he put his drums on it. And it was pretty much as simple as that. And then, yeah, we really liked it. We decided to put it out. He's a real cool guy, real humble. I like working with him.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to see that, man. It's nice seeing how those collaborations kind of come together really naturally like that. And the other kind of central thing that's been happening with you, we mentioned up top there, you've just been filming some TikToks and stuff. I'm always really intrigued to see how people use TikTok in particular, I guess, because it's such a music-led platform in individual ways, because you could point to anyone's success on there and they've come about it from a completely different direction, particularly in the alt space, I think. Tell me a little bit about, I mean, what is your approach for it, man? Why do you think that some of your tracks have had that, like specifically on TikTok, have really worked for that area?
If you never see me on TikTok, or for any listener or whatever that has never seen me on TikTok, so the driving force for a lot of my music has been like my own videos and my own skits and my own snippets and whatnot for the songs. And I think that's really because, so a little bit of background on myself. I started going viral in 2018, making beats out of weird sounds, like beats out of a condom, beats out of girls twerking on a keyboard, right? And that was really like my first buzz ever in music. I've been making music my whole life, but it wasn't even really the songs that blew up first. It was me kind of doing my viral antics. And so, it's funny to think about 2018, that was 4 years ago.
Wild.
And so I've had like a lot of experience making viral content. And, it's kind of weird saying, like,
There's no other way of wording it, but I get
there's
it's
no other
so
way of
weird, isn't
wording
it?
it.
Such a weird phrase.
Yeah. Um, and so obviously it's crafting the videos the right way and telling a story. Really, that's what it really is. Telling a story with the videos, capturing the viewer for whatever reason, and getting them to listen to the story and telling the story. And that's kind of what I wanted to do with my music too. It's kind of goes hand in hand, because the content piece will tell the story, and then the audio, the song, will finish it or will continue that story. And that's why it connects, at least I feel like, because the only thing I ever really wanted to do with music was help people, right? And it's just a delivery mechanism for people to get that song or that feeling, so that they can feel something. Does that make any sense?
That does make sense. That does make sense, man. No, 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 absolutely. I like the idea of telling stories and kind of capturing moments in a big way as well. Because again, with this kind of one of the more recent things you put out, of course, is Loser, which again has had this really, really lovely reaction. And I think part of that is, relatable lyrics and relatable situations put to, obviously beats everyone's going to enjoy, but like that's what's really grabbing people's attention, I think, in a lot of ways. Tell me a little bit, I guess, about writing process, I suppose, about that particular track that again seems to have really, really struck a chord with your audience in a good way.
Again, it was kind of the same deal sonically. Like we just wanted to kind of combine everything. Um, but then lyrically on that song, I remember, yeah, we were in the studio with Feldman, and Lil Aaron. Uh, and then, I wasn't the coolest kid growing up. I don't know. It may be hard to imagine. I don't know. I still feel like the weird kid, right? Uh, and I didn't really feel like anyone understood me. I mean, it's kind of cliche to say, but it was the truth, right? And one of the only ways I was able to relate to anything or find, solace was through music. And specifically on this song, what I wanted to channel was the feeling when I was like really, really super young and hearing something like Mike M's "I'm Not Okay." Right? Because I didn't relate to a lot of people. I didn't understand a lot of things, but that for some reason I was able to relate to. It was simple as "I'm not okay." Mind blowing. Me, I'm like a kid. Oh, I'm not okay too, right?
No, sure.
Yeah, and yeah. So the other thing, kind of when I was younger, I didn't really understand my own feelings, right? And through me writing, I was able to kind of figure out how I was feeling because I could look at the page and I could go, oh, this is how I'm feeling. So again, kind of culminating all that, I wanted to capture that feeling of when I was younger. If I had a death note, I would write my name on every page. It's kind of just all throwback stuff. The song that I would write when I was 14 or 15 years old. That's kind of what I wanted to do.
Yeah, good attitude. It's funny, isn't it? It's sometimes it's those simple statements and blanket statements that then can get into the kind of deeper stuff with that. I'm not okay, lose. Like all these kind of big statements like that is what kind of opens it up for a wider audience, I guess, in those kind of feelings. And
Yeah.
again, I mean, you mentioned it already, but with the album title, that's like clearly another big statement that definitely kind of marks a lot of questions about what you're meaning by that. I always like to ask people about album titles because I'm fascinated as to why you'd pick a certain phrase to sum up a collection. This is a big statement. It was fun while it lasted. Why are you going with that?
So pretty much, yeah. So album name, it was fun while it lasted. And pretty much why we chose that is for the last couple of years, really ever since my music kind of or my career or whatever started kind of picking up steam, it's been there's been a lot of drama. There's been a lot of drama with kind of a lot of the friends that I came up with and the people that I came up with. There's been big fallings out. uh I did become for sure an alcoholic. I'm sober now. Been sober like 6 or 7 months. I stopped counting, which is a good thing.
That's
It's a
good.
good thing to stop counting. uh I was in several really, really bad, like really toxic relationships and kind of just descending into madness and uncertainty about everything that was going on in my life. And for one reason or another, I was able to, I still don't really know what's going on, but I was able to kind of get through that rough spot into what seems like, oh, things are maybe not going as bad anymore. Right. So it was the end of one chapter and then the beginning of another. And what this album was, because the writing process has been the first song we made on this that would be on this album was SOS, which is made like almost 2 years ago.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's been a
Wow.
long time like working on this. And through that whole kind of journey of what I just said of my life has been the writing process of this album through the ups and the downs. And now it feels again like kind of I'm almost on the other side. And again, there's something in front of me, but whatever the hell happened is behind me. It was fun while it lasted. And
Right.
it's looking at all these things, and it's not regretting them. It's not looking down on them, both the good and the bad, because that's just, it is what it is. You get what I'm saying? It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, it's reflection rather than regret. It's reflecting and looking back and
Exactly.
learning, right? Man, that's
Exactly.
so interesting, man. I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of this record when it arrives. And on that note, I know you won't want to give away too much. We know obviously the singles are on there and stuff. We've seen little gaps in the track list in here and there. What can you tell me about the rest of the record? I mean, are there any more guests or any more people you've been working with we haven't heard yet? Anything like that?
There's no more features.
Okay, that's interesting. But so in terms of the writing stuff, is the rest of it, are there more co-writes on there, or is this really you kind of leading the pack for the rest of this?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, I think the rest of it is stuff I made with um my two executive producers, Colin Britton and Dwilly. And they're really the ones like kind of that I built this sound with. It's kind of like it's kind of, again, all in one, kind of futuristic leaning with all like the synths and the crazy like hyper production and mixing. Uh, you can, if you like what you've heard, you're gonna like the rest of it.
That's always a good sign. That's always a strong sign, man, right
Yeah.
there. Send it out from the gate. That's very, very strong. One more thing I do absolutely have to ask you out in terms of collabs and stuff. It's a little bit while back now, but you got to talk Papa Roach to me, man, because that's got to have been such a cool moment, and the Fever on there
Yeah.
as well. Jason's such a good dude, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's got to have felt like a kind of dream scenario, right? These are legends in the game, right there.
Yeah, no, it was sick. It was super sick. I remember, yeah, going, because I'm trying to remember the first time. Yeah, I think the first time I met Jacoby was on the music video shoot.
Wow.
Yeah, like because it kind of just happened, like sending stuff back and forth, and we'd be talking and stuff. But I remember that was like a crazy moment because again, these Papa Roach, like everyone knows who the fuck Papa Roach is, like, and talk about like someone that really was a mentor or like has helped me out a lot is Jacoby for sure. He's the first kind of person that's really been through all of this stuff, everything that has been able to kind of, I can really use as a bouncing board, and has been really trying to help me out with a lot of stuff. And I really like appreciate that. He's been amazing.
Man,
It's
that's
crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, he is such a good dude as well. That's really, really nice to hear that he's supporting artists like that in his features. I'll leave you with this, man. I obviously live shows are what they are at the minute, but we're hopeful that despite many cancellations all over the place with various artists, things do seem to be coming back, and we're kind of hopeful. I think particularly by the summer, I'm really hopeful that things might be kind of a lot more back to normal, particularly over here on this side of the Atlantic. So I mean, in terms of what are your kind of live plans for the rest of the year, a few kind of dates in the calendar and stuff, and how do you feel about putting this record that's coming up actually onto the live stage?
So actually, I'm going on my first tour ever, starting next week
Beautiful.
with Oliver Tree. It's a U.S. tour.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, no UK dates. Unfortunately, but yeah, I am. It's gonna go from February all the way until right at the beginning of April. Like the last date is like the very last day of March. And then right now, I know my booking agents are setting stuff up for like European festivals and stuff in the summer. I don't think I can say which ones,
That's as good enough
or
as a hint.
I don't
That's
know
a
if
good a
it's
hint.
yeah. And then we're putting together like the like my own like headline tour for the fall.
Great.
And I'm just excited to really get out there because most of my stuff blew up like during quarantine, right? During a time where you couldn't like go and
Sure.
play stuff. And it's crazy to me that, again, this is my first tour. I've done shows and stuff. I grew
Yeah,
up
yeah.
like in like underground bands and like hardcore bands, and we do like local LA shows all the time. I'm from LA, right? But this is my first like official tour, and I'm going out with Oliver Tree. These are some big rooms.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It will
These
be.
are some big like, and it's crazy to me. Like this is the first like big thing. It's like skipping a whole bunch of. It's like jumping right into the big leagues,
Yeah.
which is it's a little nerve wracking, but I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that is an interesting thing actually, because like loads of the bands I've spoken to over the last year, who've maybe they've had like a long time on the touring circuit and stuff, but they've still had that moment. If they've released an album during 2020 or even last year, it's weird to them that like it's been out for months and months and months and months, and then they're getting in front of a crowd and seeing that reaction. For you, it's got to be even bigger. The fact that you've had these big breakthrough moments, like you say, when you weren't able to get in front of people because of the nature of the world at that time. It's gonna
Yeah.
it's gonna be really kind of cool to see when you play, when you play things like Paralyzed, just see what that crowd reaction is, right?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited. I definitely want to see all that. I want to see. I'm just ready, man. I'm excited.
Man, glad to see you hyped for it, dude. No, absolutely. Well, congratulations on everything you're doing, man. Congrats on the success. We look forward to seeing you in the UK whenever that may be. But in the meantime, enjoy this tour and look after yourself out there, all right?
Appreciate you, James. Yeah, I'm hyped to come to the UK and rip it.
Absolutely, man. We'll be right there with you. All right, Sueco, everybody.